Well, after the incredible first official teaser for Superman, which literally managed to take the internet by storm, the DCU is slowly and steadily starting to take shape in a major way. It is now officially confirmed that Jason Momoa, popularly known for his role within the now dysfunctional Snyderverse as the underwater king of Atlantis, Aquaman will be playing the infamous anti-hero from DC Comics, who is confirmed to appear in the movie Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. The news was confirmed by Momoa himself on his Instagram, which you can currently see on your screens. If you ask me personally, I would say this man was literally born to play Lobo. I mean, I still stand by the claim that Jason Momoa did a terrific job as Aquaman, but as I said, there's no denying that he was born to play Lobo. This man has been fan-casted as Lobo for several years now, and each of these fan arts just gives you the idea as to how perfectly he fits the role. Everything from his perfect look down to his personality, everything just fits so well, and it's obvious that he deep down has always wanted to be in this role more than any other DC character. It's like how Ryan Reynolds played Green Lantern, but desired more than anything to play Deadpool. And I think this is a very smart thing to do. I don't think Supergirl is interesting enough as a character to carry an entire movie on her own, at least this early on in the DCU, so putting in someone more popular like Lobo, played by none other than the person who had been fan-casted in the role for years now, really helps making the movie seem more nuanced and attractive to more moviegoers and even comic heads. At this point, I am actually very hyped to witness how the cosmic side of the DCU is slowly building up. We have Superman, Supergirl, Green Lanterns, and now freaking Lobo. This shit is shaping up to be an insane cosmic level world building, and I am totally 100% hyped and on board to see where this goes. At this point, I am going to make a small and humble request to all of you, my lovely friends, to spend just 1 second of your time to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you want more such comic book related contents on my channel. Trust me, your one like and subscription means the world to me. With that, let us resume our discussion on the DCU going forward. During a press event just hours before the launch of the Superman teaser, Brandon Davis, a renowned journalist, asked Gunn if the film would have a post-credits scene. And to everyone's joy, Gunn confirmed that Superman would indeed feature a post-credit scene. And if you are a hardcore follower of comic book movies, you would definitely know that James Gunn has a profound history of putting out some of the most impactful and unexpected post-credit scenes. If you remember, the first Guardians of the Galaxy, which was his first big superhero movie assignment, led to the introduction of the one and only Thanos, who later turned out to be the backbone, the focal point of the entire Infinity Saga of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Speaking about his work related to DC and Warner Brothers, he was also the architect behind the critically acclaimed first season of Peacemaker, which also had quite an explosive and unexpected ending, featuring the entire freaking Justice League. Now, that was totally out of nowhere and unexpected. So, there is no denying the fact that the upcoming Superman movie is definitely going to have a huge ending, as this movie has the responsibility of successfully launching an entire live-action interconnected cinematic universe. So, the ending of this movie will have to leave the audience with questions on their minds, craving for more great things from this universe. So, speaking of possible endings, the first one that comes to my mind is a cameo by Millie Alcock's Supergirl. This one makes the most sense because that's the only other actor that was cast during the time Superman was shooting. And if you look at the official IMDb cast for Superman, over here you can see Millie Alcock, which is very interesting to say the least. If you do not know already, let me inform you that Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is set to release in 2026, and is one of the most heavily advertised upcoming DCU projects. We can't just have Kara go off on a solo adventure without seeing her making a cameo and interacting with David Corenswet's Superman. Or Woman of Tomorrow could even act like a prequel to Superman, and that's where this version of Krypto could be from, which explains why this Krypto is not the usual breed and why he's on Earth. Imagine Supergirl just turning up at the end of the movie, thanking Superman for taking care of the dog. Now, there is definitely a good chance that this lady is Millie Alcock in the role of Kara Zor-El, aka Supergirl. So, if she is already in the movie, there is a huge possibility that the post-credit scene actually features her ultimately setting up Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. And if that is the case, there is also a very small of possibility of seeing Lobo in James Gunn's Superman, as we know by now that he is going to be the main antagonist of Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Now, there is another piece of news that I want to touch upon, which is the delaying of the sequel for 2022's The Batman by a whole year. Yes, The Batman Part 2 is now releasing on October of 2027. I mean, the soundtrack, Something in the Way totally makes sense because something always seemed to get in the way of the progress of the sequel to The Batman. It feels really awkward to say this, but we are actually getting GTA 6 before The Batman Part 2. And to be totally honest with you, this delay makes no sense whatsoever, especially after the enormous success of The Penguin, which ended just a few months ago. I mean, all these seem totally pointless and stupid. The only plausible and somewhat logical explanation for the repeated delaying of The Batman Part 2, according to me, is that there are talks going on behind the scenes about whether Matt Reeves' The Batman should be included within James Gunn's DCU. What if they are actually waiting to see how Superman does commercially, and if it actually does end up doing well, maybe they will merge the Reeves-verse with the DCU? My reasoning is because the trilogy was announced before The Batman Part 1 even came out, and right after The Batman was released, Matt Reeves said he was already working on the script for the sequel. This was back in 2022. Does it really take almost 5 years to complete a single script? If they don't want Matt Reeves' Batman to be part of the DCU, then there's no logical reason why The Batman Part 2 can't release in the same year as Superman or shortly after. If they're worried about audiences getting confused with two separate Batmen, that doesn't hold up either. In this day and age where the concept of the multiverse is a big part of pop culture, where we've had multiple versions of Spider-Man existing at the same time, with Tom Holland in the MCU, the Spider-Verse films, and even freaking Tobey Maguire returning in No Way Home, audiences are smart enough to distinguish between different versions of the same character. Plus, if they wanted to plan ahead, they could have cast the DCU Batman and started work on the script for Brave and the Bold alongside the Batman Part 2 by now. Delaying everything just to figure out if Matt Reeves' Batman should join the DCU feels inefficient. It's starting to seem like the delays might be less about logistical issues and more about indecision on how they want to proceed with Batman's role in the larger DCU. I mean, just try and find me an answer to these questions. If Robert Pattinson isn't going to be the DCU Batman, then why delay it? Why wait to see if Superman does well? If the Batman isn't part of the DCU, then why would it matter whether Superman succeeds or not? If the Batman isn't part of the Superman universe, so it shouldn't affect the timing of its release. Let me tell you that I didn't believe the rumors of Pattinson joining the DCU initially, but I think this delay honestly confirms it. Gunn hasn't commented on the rumor, and most importantly, we heard before that the script was fine, so there is absolutely zero sense in delaying it any further. In my opinion, they're redoing the entire script of the sequel in order to smoothly implement and incorporate Robert Pattinson's Batman into James Gunn's universe. If you remember, less than 24 hours ago, we heard the news that Batman Brave and the Bold is getting delayed, and now we are getting to know that the Batman Part 2 is being delayed as well. This makes total sense if Brave and the Bold and Batman Part 2 are actually the same freaking movie. So what do you think about this whole situation? What is your opinion on the possibility of Robert Pattinson's Batman joining the DCU, as well as your thoughts on Jason Momoa being cast as Lobo in the comments down below? So that is all I had to share in this video. If you enjoyed watching, please do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.